Good evening, good afternoon to all my blessed beloveds out there in video land. You're watching Living and Thriving with Rustie, and I have my computer fixed, but as you can see, the video is very pixelated, so I will have to figure that out. It's always something to learn. There's always something to learn. Living and Thriving has evolved into such a beautiful project, and I have been able to travel virtually all over the world to visit some really amazing people who share their story on what it is to live and thrive through tragedy, through adversity, through pain, through suffering. And I get goosebumps every time I do this because I really am very fortunate to meet some really beautiful souls, and my phone just can't stop but go off.
Oh,
all right, there
no,
we go.
I hear you. I just
Anyway,
put mine on
authentically me.
silent.
That's all you're going to get. And there's things that people don't understand that go on behind the scenes here at Living and Thriving. It takes about a day and a half to 3 days to actually book somebody. You're dealing with humans.
Yeah.
And they switch or they don't show.
Oh.
I go above and beyond and send them a Google link so that they're reminded to show.
Right?
And they still don't. However, the ones that do show definitely spend an amazing amount of time inspiring you, liberating your brain, giving you goals and actions and excitement. You know, one guest said, write your own personal mission statement. You might not be a physical business, but you are your business.
Oh, yeah.
Ain't nobody else's business. If anybody says that you're their business, you just walk away.
Oh, right. Yes, yes.
They're not paying your bills.
Yes.
You know how I feel about the subject.
Yes.
Now,
Agreed. Totally.
Davina, Ware, is my guest today, and she's a cute little button, and I'm really looking forward to learning what makes her ooey gooey on the inside. Mm-hmm. See, people think that this is a preempted thing. I refuse to talk to my guests ahead of time because I want it to be like we just met at a cafe or we're sitting at a bar next to each other having a cocktail and, hey, what's up? And she's like, hey, what's up? And we're just like, hey, what do you do? You know, like normal people, like something authentic, not something contrite. And I'm really looking forward to meeting her. So, Davina, show yourself, woman. Hi, honey.
Hello. How are you
this
morning, afternoon?
Oh my God, it is a beautiful day. I don't know if you know where I live, but I live in Jurassic Park.
Ah.
I live in perpetual sunniness, rainbows in the afternoon, rainstorms, and a ton of dinosaurs, and a cacophony of birds. And
that's beautiful.
It is
no, I wish. I am coming to you from the very humid land of Chicago. Where
I love Chicago.
Yeah, I love it here, but weather is, we're in a very interesting period. So at one point it could be 40 degrees. Right now it's like 90 and very muggy. And then by the weekend it'll be 60. So we'll see. And hopefully try not to get pneumonia.
I used to traipse around downtown Chicago and Michigan Ave. I used to do the Trade Center at McCormick. I had a lot of fun.
Yes.
And I was at the Omni across the street from Walgreens.
Yep.
You know where that is?
Yes.
So September 11th.
Is when you were there?
Yeah. And we were on like the tippity top floor, like the really pretty part where you get to see the rooftop.
Yes,
you know?
yes.
And we were supposed to be bombed next because that was the fear at the time. And I'll tell you, girl, the scariest thing that I've ever experienced, I've been shot, I've been beaten to a pulp, I have cracks in my skull from being beaten so much. Wow. So I've been there.
Yeah.
But the scariest thing is listening to a pigeon fly from the hotel across or the building across from the Omni to the Walgreens. It was that silent.
Oh my gosh. And in downtown Chicago, that's like non-existent. So
yeah.
That sent chills up my spine.
For sure. Yeah. And it was amazing. And to this day, I still get chills thinking about, because you could hear the flapping and the echoing of the wings.
Wow.
Because, I mean, you remember that time where everybody was shut down and locked up and you couldn't go outside and blah, blah, blah. Kind of like now, but a little bit.
Right. Right. Just under different pretenses. Right. Exactly.
A little scarier. Yeah, so that was, but I love Chicago. Chicago, oh man, I was so bummed when they took FBO Schwartz off of Michigan, and
Oh, yeah. Lots of
and
things changing, but
but
yeah.
the music and the gyros and the food and the people. I mean,
And
that's
the
a town of love.
festivals, which are up in the air right now. But yeah, we'll make the best of it.
It's a town of love for sure. I think people underestimate Chicago. Chicago definitely has this beat, you know.
It does. There's a certain energy here, especially in the summer when it's warm and people can be outside after hibernating for 6 months. It just brings this whole new burst of energy and light. So, yeah.
So speaking of bursting of energy and light, I heard that you are a burst of energy and light. Who are you? What do you do? And what makes you do what you do?
Wow. Couple things. Well, I'm a career coach and I focus on connecting people with their purpose. So I help people transition from stagnant places into their ideal places. And I do that because I know what that means. I graduated from college and I thought the world was my oyster and I would have this great career and everything would just fall in line and in place. And that just wasn't so for a couple of reasons. But one of those is I graduated during the housing market crash of 2008, 2009. It completely shifted the economy. And so I spent a good 7, 8 years just trying to stay alive and just keep a job. And I was noticing that there were people who around me who were doing the same thing. Like we're just happy to have a job, just trying to stay connected, get a job, etc. But there was no joy. There was no happiness. It was let's hurry up and rush through the day so we could get through the weekend. Let's rush through the spring so we could get to 4th of July. Let's rush through the summer so we could get to Thanksgiving. And I'm like, we're not living life. And I just said to myself, this cannot be what we're here for. This could not be it. This perpetual state of misery that we've just accepted as comfort. And so I made it my personal mission to get out and to get on the other side of it. And so my journey of that allowed me to then be shortcuts for other people that are in that stagnant place.
Well, and what's really interesting, because you just gave me more goosebumps, it's like 95 out, so I'm not cold. It was really your statement. What's interesting about that is at that time period, I was an account executive for a major VAR, a value-added retailer.
Okay.
And we sold products for Dell, HP. I was up in the millions of dollars in sales, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And the fear that was offered at that time period shut so many companies down. I mean, they self-prophesized.
Yeah. Yes.
They really self-prophesized it. And it was the stupidest thing.
Yep.
And I was so frustrated. I'm like, if you guys just shut up and stop claiming that we're going into a depression.
Right. Then maybe
we would be
won't.
making money and people would be spending. But now you're claiming that we're going into a depression, so people aren't going to be spending because they're in fear and they're going to be cutting.
Exactly.
And so 34 of us were let go on January 5th.
Oh, wow.
Because of it. And then a month later, they let another 34 go. And that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
At that time period, I had to reinvent myself and really dig down and figure out what it is that I wanted to do because I'm really sick of working for the man.
Oh yeah. Right.
I'm sick of it. And there's no security, there's no care, there's no they don't care about your kids, they don't care that you get sick. It's not that world anymore. You're a number and you're a process. You're fast food going out the window in 15 seconds.
Yep.
And what I find interesting, the reason why I have you on this show is very particular because we're in that same beat. We're having that same conversation now because now the world has reset. We're in a cosmic reset.
Yes,
we are. Really get good, and everybody's shitting Twinkies because they don't know if they're going to be able to pay their mortgage.
Yep.
So what do we do? Like you and I, girl, we'll roll up our sleeves and we'll get it done.
Absolutely. Yes.
But you're a coach. How do you coach people to say, shut up, stop your whining, and let's do this? Roll up your sleeves. It's going to hurt.
Yes, it is. It is. But it's a good hurt. It's a pruning. So I look at certain processes just in nature and life, and we're no different from that, such as, gold, right? And we are burning the gold to get the impurities out. There's a burning process that goes to that. Take working out, for example. Working out doesn't feel good in the midst of it, unless you're, that person. But I mean, right? But I mean, if I want abs, I'm gonna have to spend some time hurting a little bit in my ab class, but it's going to produce some great results. And one thing I tell people is to shift their perspective from an outward perspective to an inward one, so that it shouldn't matter what the economy is doing, what the circumstances are. You should, within yourself, have a certain sense of self-production so that you can keep yourself going. But I think we're taught, I think our society has shaped us in such a way to think about what, you can do for these companies, you having a place there as opposed to your skills, your talents, your gifts, and then what you contribute to the world, your place in the earth. Because when you have a place in a bigger space, when you expand your mind in such a way, then I believe you'll never be broke. I believe you'll never be subject to the economy. So start within is what I tell people.
I always tell people that success is a misunderstood word, and I want to pick your brain about this because this is your forte.
Yeah.
I think of success as all the actions, all the tears that you wipe, all the pain, all the struggle, all the strife, every single damn step that you take, every frustration, every rejection. That's success.
Yeah.
The shiny car, the house with a pool, the fancy dog, the poodle that has $5,000 worth of medical bills every month.
Right.
That's not success. That's your ego.
Exactly. Those are physical manifestations, of perfectionism, of this thing that you're trying to achieve outwardly that you can't achieve inwardly, I think. I love talking about success. I love it because, like you said, we need to debunk the myths about that it's this very linear journey that, okay, I went to college, I did this, I hit this milestone. Okay, I got promoted at work, I hit that milestone. It's very manufactured. And I have a couple YouTube videos about success, because the very first thing is we have to define it for ourselves. It's that sense of pulling away from society, pulling away from those ideals, because that's manufactured too. And we attach our soul, we attach our minds to a manufactured thing, and then wonder why we end up in perpetual frustration and anger and confusion. It's because you're not living your true authentic self. So success for me, honestly, and coming from a place of learning how to love myself, coming from a place of having to rid my mind and my thoughts of things that people have said to me or that have done to me. So for me, my very baseline level of success is I can have a bad day, I can be in bad circumstances, but I can still have some sense of joy inwardly, no matter what's going on outwardly. And then I can build everything else from there, where I can live independently of what's going on and be centered and be grounded and have joy and have peace. And then when you start from that foundation, I found that doors open for you out of nowhere without you having to struggle for it or get to the next rung. Like, you've opened this pathway to receive the good vibrations based on your good vibration, based on your spirit, and you being on purpose and intentional about what's in here and not what's out there.
Well, and I always tell my clients, and when I public speak, you gotta set your priorities. Yep. And if anything's waking us up, we had September 11th, we had the big boom or crash in 2008, 2009. We had the mass hysteria of this pandemic, which has killed millions of people.
Yeah.
Reset your mind. This is a time where you got to get real, because done. The masks are off, the gloves are off, we're done.
Here we are.
Here we are. You can't get any more naked, right?
No.
Mm-mm. And really look at who is around you. I think when I went through my detox of my environment, oh my God, I never realized how much junk I had in my life. And, I'm talking people, places, and things.
Yes.
The whole gamut, all the way around. It got real.
Yeah.
And as I was decluttering my life with toxicity and junk, I had to actually look at myself every morning in the mirror, and you know what I said? Who's paying your bills?
Yeah.
Who is paying your bills? They got something to say, they better be paying.
Yeah. Agreed. I say the same thing. It boils down to that. You can say what you want, but you're not gonna buy my food for the next week, or you're not gonna. You can't take me where I need to go. So, respectfully, I have to say to people sometimes. So I respectfully decline, or I have to say, well, I'm sorry, I have to rebuke that, because people carry energies, and I'm an empathic person. So, and I'm sure you can relate to being in environments and people, including those that are supposed to be close to us, where you're like, I can't answer the phone for you. I can't have you in my house. I can't have you in my space because you're going to deplete me, and then I'm not going to be any good for myself. So, yeah, I totally hear you.
Well, and I think that's where you get really good with what you want to be, and those doors do start opening because you clean out your closet. You got space for a new shirt. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. The purge. The purge. And I think that's where, as you were talking about, just the hysteria that's happening with this pandemic, I get it. It's scary. Great. That's a fact. We can move on from that. We don't have to live there. But I think it's a great opportunity. Like you said, we shouldn't, be super comfortable in this point. But because of that, you have no other choice but to be alone with you and to get the stuff off of you. It could be your workplace. It could be your cubicle. Shed all of these things. And like you mentioned, get naked before yourself and say, okay, I can breathe. Now, what can I do to stay in this space? Something's got to change from there. And I have found this to be one of the most peaceful times in life that I can remember, just because I'm embracing it.
I am like on full high vibration. I am jumping up at 3-4 o'clock in the morning. I do 6 to 7 of these interviews in a row.
Oh my goodness.
Every day somebody's on doing something of positivity.
Yeah.
And, we have the media that's giving us a lot of the dark stuff, a lot of the sad stuff, a lot of the horrible stuff. And then we have commercialized TV sharing A-list celebrity stuff. That's not the real world. That's a very small portion of the world. You're the real world. I'm the real world. And the thousands of people that I get to interview are the fabric that actually holds the communities together.
Yeah.
These are the real people that are doing the real work. They're authentic. They might not ever be multi-bazillionaires. They don't even really care about that. It's service. What are you putting out there to be a better version of you, and what are you doing to be a part of your community in a positive and functional way?
Yes. Doing your part. Or as I forget what quote someone said, service is the rent you pay for living on earth. Let's not forget that. But yeah, I agree. We live in too many manufactured ideologies, and it's got us all mixed up. But
and I think right now it's really interesting because we're supposed to wear a mask, which I do because I have an autoimmune disease. It's safe for me. It's safe for you. We're good. It doesn't. I don't care what you think. If I look like whatever, I don't care. So I don't even get into that stuff. But in a lot of ways, we're taking our masks off.
Yeah. And it feels good because you can breathe. Yeah.
That's the piece. That's the piece that's really scary for some people, and for people like us who've done the work and continue to do the work on our insides to be authentically us. We dig it. We're like, yeah.
I know, right? We're like, yes, more time to do the work, more time to figure it out before we're thrust back out to society as it is. Yeah, no, this has been a sweet spot for me, and I try to coach people from that place. Let's get out of the frame. Let's reframe your world right now, and depending on what frame you choose, it can be a very beautiful, exciting thing. Like, I'm excited, and that's my goal, is to jumpstart other people, to get them excited, especially in the career space. Things are changing. This is an opportunity for you to take control of your life and control of your destiny, and not be mopped around really by circumstances.
Well, and I think people are really having to do, excuse me, that inner dive and that perspective. My favorite word in the whole entire dictionary. There's thousands of beautiful words, but perspective is the coolest, right?
Yes, that's
And
a good one.
you have to think outside of the box now. And do you want to go through this again? And how much fun did you have spending every single day riding a bike around the neighborhood with the kids, not stressed out, not in traffic, not
Yes.
wearing your coffee when you drive in the morning because some cuts you off, and
Right.
those things, those interruptions, those obstacles that we've become almost immune to.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't have those anymore, and it's beautiful. And so I think a lot of people are going to be really looking inward and figuring out ways to implement the way it is now in the future way of being. And it's got to be exciting for you because those conversations are like kind of like popcorn, I would imagine, because they're thinking harder than they've ever thought before on how they can have a balanced life.
Absolutely. Some of it is a little, pulling off of the ledge, which is okay, because I've been on the ledge, so I have empathy for that. But the other thing I focus on is to tell people, don't waste this time waiting for it to be over. What a waste that would be, is if you didn't allow yourself to grow in this time when it's set up for you to grow. It's set up for you to be the best you that you possibly can. The world has shut down. There is no going to the gym. There is no going to the laundromat. Well, in some cases you can, but there is no going to, like, the dry cleaner. Like you said, those simple things that just run on autopilot in the back of our mind, of all the errands that we have to run. There are no errands to run. And that's okay. There's a certain peace that comes with not being on the go all the time. And I think my cells thank me for it. My muscles, my sinuses even thank me for just sitting down for a second. But it's almost like I have the permission to sit down. And that makes me think, like, goodness, what kind of society have we created where you have to feel like you taking a moment is okay to do?
Right. It should be something that's very natural and
No.
versus something that's feeling guilty or contrite or a struggle. That's that upstream making friction because you have so much action, you actually burn yourself out. And there's a certain point of having action, and that's what success is all about. To be successful, you have to act. But there's also a smart way of doing it. I always think of working smarter than harder.
Right.
And that's a hard thing to rewire people with.
Oh, yeah, definitely. The efficiency. That's a word I say a lot. Is this efficient for you to be doing? It's like, okay, being a jack of all trades, but then you're a master of none. And then where does that get us? Just busy. And that's it. Just busy. And not productive, not moving forward, not achieving goals, not reaching milestones, just perpetual busyness. Yeah, which leads to resentment, burnout, frustration, disillusionment, and for what?
$9.99.
Yeah, right. Right.
And if you call now, you'll get two.
All right. Right.
So we're at the end of the show, and again, I'm so grateful that you came on when you came on. You're going to actually air in about 2 weeks.
Love it.
But May and June for the Living and Thriving world is about success and smashing goals and achieving your dreams, because it's possible to take your dream and make it as big as you want. I mean, I want that dream huge.
Yes.
And then we're going to make little chewable bites that you could be doing every day through this pandemic. You
That's
got the
right.
time. There's no excuse.
No, none.
And you can even do it in your 3-day-old spaghetti stained t-shirt.
Yeah, you sure can.
Right?
Yeah, in your own comfortable environment. Yes.
Right. So build your dream, build that success. And so I'm leading you into your 5 tips and tricks that you would recommend people do during this pandemic, not only to squash those goals, because I'm all about crushing it.
Yes.
But to be happy.
Yeah. I would say the very first one is to get some rest. A lot of times we think that if we keep pushing, we're going to reach the goal faster, but then we don't pay attention to our body and we're starting to shut down. And we also don't realize that if we don't get rest, our mind isn't as sharp and we don't allow for new ideas to come through. So definitely get some rest. The other thing I would say is to get some exercise at the same time. Get your endorphins up, get you in a place of being happy and healthy. But again, that helps your mind to operate in its most optimal state to where you can hit the ground running with new thoughts, new ideas, and you're refreshed. The other thing I would say is to get quiet. It's easy to be like, whew, that was a long day, or this was a long time. You know, I got my music on, I'm on my phone, watching TV, but to be quiet, to create an environment and a space that's welcoming for you to hear your own thoughts. And the other thing is, I would say to purge mentally all of your thoughts, whether it's a daily or weekly journal prompt, everything you're feeling, all the ideas you have without restriction, without any boundaries, just write. Get it out of there. And also purge your environment, like you were talking about before. Get rid of those old clothes. Get rid of stuff in your house that you don't like, or that corner that you're avoiding because it's not pleasing to you. Just purge. Get rid of it and don't think about it. Trust yourself and the things that your mind and your body are telling you to get rid of. And then the other thing I would say is to get active on the things that make your joy expound, whatever that is. If you're a planner, maybe that's making a plan toward losing weight, or maybe that's making a plan to start in your business, or maybe that's making a plan for you to refresh your resume, or for you to take your career in the next direction. But whatever that thing is that lights you up, that gives you so much excitement without any external triggers, act on that. To start putting action or some kind of energy toward it. And if you need to change it, you can definitely go in a different direction, but you can't move a parked car. So if it's one toe at a time, to take some action and to get moving, then that's what it is. So yeah, those are my 5.
So where can we find information? Because we're running out of time quick. It's like it's one of those scary.
Oh no!
Ah.
Well, my website is upwardlypavedpath.com, and that has all my blog information that talks about spiritual growth and career advancement and development, and that personal growth, because that's holistically how we can make a change. And then you can find me on social media, YouTube at Upwardly Paved Path.
You are a beautiful soul. So glad to have you, my fellow sister, Mr. Yes.
This has been great. And I love to meet people that have come to Chicago and love it. So thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome. Yeah, it's a beautiful town. It's sad that one memory is stuck, but
I know. I know.
Life is life.
Yeah.
So thank you, and you'll find more information about her linked here, or maybe over there, or maybe somewhere. But it'll be around the box.
Yeah.
It's hard to miss that. And definitely reach out, because she definitely has the living and thriving mentality. This is what we do. This is why we do what we do. And this is the authentic you, that beautiful, juicy, ooey gooey bag of water, surfing on a rock, rolling into infinity with millions of other bags of water. Oh, wait, does that mean that we're like droplets in the ocean? We're actually the ocean, and we're just, whoa, that's a deep thought.
Yeah.
Be kind to yourself. Know that you're beautiful. Know that I love you. And hey, go sing, go dance, go garden, go eat 2 cookies, don't eat 4. We talk about this.